disclosures of documents appearing to emanate from throughout the intelligence community. Because this is an ongoing criminal investigation, I will have to refer you to the DOJ for any questions. This is a law enforcement matter, and it would be inappropriate for me or any other DoD official to comment at this time. And certainly when we have more to provide from the Department of Defense, we will. In the meantime, as Secretary Austin has stated, the Department is taking the issue of this unauthorized disclosure very seriously. We continue to work around the clock, along with the interagency and the intelligence community, to better understand the scope, scale, and impact of these leaks. We continue to review a variety of factors as it relates to safeguarding classified materials. This includes examining and updating distribution lists, assessing how and where intelligence products are shared, and a variety of other steps. I would say, though, that it is important to understand that we do have stringent guidelines in place for safeguarding classified and sensitive information. This was a deliberate criminal act, a violation of those guidelines. And so, again, I think that's important to understand. Now, we will continue to do everything we can to ensure that people who have a need to know when it comes to this kind of information have access to that. We're always going to learn from every situation.
But you are taking steps to tighten that, I guess, population who might have access to this level of information.
That's accurate. Again, we continue to review those distribution lists, update them, make sure there's a need to know. But again, let me just emphasize my point that this was we have rules in place. Each of us signs a non-disclosure agreement. Anybody that has a security clearance, and so all indications are, again, this is a criminal act, a willful violation of those, and again, another reason why we're continuing to investigate and support DOJ's investigation.
Can you put into context the damage that has been done by this leak?
Again, right now, we're continuing to assess the scope and the impact, and so that's work that will be ongoing.
Yes, we are back. It is 6:34 p.m. on a Friday, a very nice Friday. I hope you guys went outside and did something today, because this was a really nice day, and it's going to rain, I think, over the weekend. So
Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to rain. So if you're going to do something, do it now. It's still light outside. I'm looking out the window right now, and it is still very nice. So it's not too late to get out and do something and move the body.
Soak up some vitamin D.
Yes, as always.
We spent the past, 4 or 5 months waiting for days like this.
Yep.
Here it is. What's that old song by Nat King Cole? The lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer are right around the corner. You can get outside, get out and about. Enjoy. I saw on my way up here, I was going to talk about that too. I saw a couple of guys pushing strollers with little kids in them. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Couple brothers pushing their little kids.
That's cool. Yeah, we don't celebrate black fatherhood enough in our society. Really the only fathers we acknowledge are the ones we try to make out to be crazy, whether it's LeVar Ball or Richard Williams or Joe Jack. Like, we'll acknowledge that, but we make it seem like all the other dads are just like deadbeat dads or something. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about in terms of how black fatherhood is diminished and underrated by our society. You up for a call, Rev?
Sure, let's get one.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, you got to be ready for this call.
What's up?
Hey, Scott.
What's up?
And the Rev.
How you doing?
Hey, call you Holy Cow and Hawk Harrison. Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs. Y'all are men, right?
That's right.
Hey, Scott, you got to take off the rose-colored glasses. You said you're looking outside?
Yes.
You said you got to get some of this vitamin D, the Rev say.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just teasing with you guys, man. So,
it's always good.
Y'all just put the guards on.
No, I was just trying to see where you were going with all of this.
Have a sense of humor. Yeah, man, you got to enjoy this weather. I'm out enjoying it. That's what it's for, brother. You got to enjoy it, man.
I heard that.
But like I said, I know you're a Chicago White Sox fan.
Yeah,
Scott.
you already know.
and the Rev is the Cub.
Yes, he's a Cub guy.
Yes,
And think about it. Hey, Dale, you see that brother? Well, you say brother, I'm just talking about a man, okay? A male.
yeah.
Get that,
I
hit that
presume you are.
slam with it. It won the game. Remember that game?
Which one you talking about?
When he hit the grand slam.
I think he's talking about, was it Bellinger?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Cubs. Come on,
Hey,
man.
I
you
think
know
he's
what?
talking about
I'm
Bellinger.
going to have to be honest. I don't have the Marquee Sports Network thing.
You got the news.
Oh, you know what? What helps me keep up? YouTube. If you YouTube, if you go to Major League Baseball's YouTube page, they have the 10-minute recaps of every game.
Oh, nice.
Yes, 10-minute recaps.
Tell him, Scott.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work, because I'm going to tell you,
We
man,
have access to a lot of stuff now, man.
I sat there. I thought that I could get by without, because I'm trying to save a little money here.
Oh, yeah.
So we cut back to the basic cable, and, and then I found out basic cable means no marquee.
Ooh,
Right.
that's just whack.
Ooh.
But
Well,
see,
you will save a little money.
yeah,
If you
YouTube.
get rid of that cable.
YouTube is a lifesaver when it comes to that stuff. The NBA too, you could go to the NBA channel and they have every game for 10-minute game.
Absolutely.
So you can stay up with everything. Well, thanks for calling, brother. We got to get to this next. We got to get into this next
Yes.
topic because it is very important. The online leaks of scores of highly classified documents about the Ukraine war present a very serious risk to the national security, and senior leaders are quickly taking up steps to mitigate the damage, a top Pentagon spokesman said on Monday. As the public airing of data sent shockwaves across the U.S. government, the White House said that there are concerns that there could be even more leaks. Wow. Chris Meager, assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs, told reporters that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin first became aware on Thursday that a number of classified briefing slides detailed the U.S. military efforts in the Ukraine war and intelligence involving other nations were also leaked. In the days since, Austin has reached out to the allies, held daily meetings to assess the damage, and set up a group not only to assess the scope of the information lost, but to review who has access to these things. The department is now closely looking at how this type of information is distributed and to whom. A defense official who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters said that the Pentagon has now taken steps to reduce the number of people who have access to those briefings. The official said the Pentagon regularly reviews access lists to weigh who has a need to know and certain access to classified materials. So who was behind this, Rev? They found the guy behind it quickly. And it wasn't really, here's the thing. The media tracked this kid down. The media, the New York Times. A Massachusetts Air National Guard member was arrested yesterday in connection with the disclosure of the highly classified military documents about the Ukraine war and other top national security issues. The guardsman, an IT specialist, has been identified as 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, and he has been taken into custody without incident. I actually watched them arresting him. Like the news cameras were over his house, and you could see it. This kid was like sitting in his backyard, right? He was sitting in his backyard reading a book, waiting for the police to come and get him. And you see him when the police come, he gets down on the ground and everything. And so I guess the media was there because they were hoping maybe he'd want to shoot it out with him or something. But no, it was a very peaceful abscondment or whatever. He is to be charged under provision of the Espionage Act that makes it a crime to remove or transmit classified national defense information, Attorney General Merrick Garland said. Garland did not reveal a possible motive, but accounts of those in the online private chat room where the documents were disclosed have depicted Teixeira as motivated more by bravado than ideology. So this is a guy who he was a part of the Discord online gaming community, right? They get together and they play the game. I think they said the game that he was a big fan of was called Zomboid. Or something like that. So this kid he's a gamer basically, and this kid was bragging to all of his friends online like, I have all this access to classified material. And they're like, you lying, dude. You lying. You ain't got no classified material. And he said, okay. And he put it out there, and it's been out there for months.
Wow.
It's been out there, they said, for 3 or 4 months. It's crazy. So this kid, or this young man, was a cyber transport system specialist, essentially an IT specialist responsible for military communication network, including their cabling and hubs. In that role, Teixeira would have had a higher level of security clearance because he would also have been tasked with the responsibility for ensuring protection for the networks, a defense official told the Associated Press, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. Hours after his arrest, Representative Mike Turner, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, issued a statement pledging to examine why this happened, why it went unannounced for weeks, and how to prevent future leaks. So, you know, look, what we learned from these documents is essentially what I've been saying and what a lot of people have been saying for a long time, which is that Ukraine is really in a bad state. Like, we are determined to essentially force Ukraine to fight to the last Ukrainian. Because they may have already run out of their air defense missiles. They are in a really dire shape. That's what the leaks have found. Also, that the U.S. government has lied to us about the amount of casualties from the Ukrainians. It's much worse than they thought. This is also one of the things that they found is that the U.S. is actually cooking up intricate plots, as my man Biggie Smalls was saying, intricate plot to force South Korea and Israel to violate their own policies to give Ukraine more lethal weapons. And so how were they doing that? They were essentially spying on both South Korea and Israel, two allies, and using that info to pressure them into breaking their own laws so that they could provide Ukraine with more weapons, because, again, Ukraine is in a very dire state. The media has been telling us, oh, Ukrainians are winning. Ukraine is winning. Just any day now, Vladimir Putin will be done and he'll go home. They told us that last summer. Last summer they were telling us a few months into the war, oh, yeah, Ukraine's winning. Russia's almost done. And so they also found out that we have people inside Russia. We have people inside Russia, and that's how they knew when Russia was going to invade Ukraine, because they actually told Putin what day he was going to invade Ukraine before he did it. They said, you're going to invade on February 27th, and he said, no, I'm not. And then he invaded on February 27th.
Okay.
So you would think that would have been a tip-off to him at that point, like, maybe my circle ain't as tight as I thought it was.
Okay.
We also found out the leaks of the air defense. The Ukraine's air defense, the location of their air defense was leaked. The penetration that the U.S. has into the highest levels of government in other countries, like I said, like South Korea, but also Hungary. They had quotes from high-level officials. This is an absolute mess, Rev. This is an absolute mess.
Yeah. And, I'm sorry, but, okay, Air National Guards person gets access to high-level security. I mean, not just tactical security, not just operational security, but in essence, grand strategic level information. How in the world does a 19-year-old National Guardsman get access to stuff that I, as an active duty person, would not have had access to? Now, unless he's also on the side, this super hacker who was able to, break past the firewalls of the DOD, who's the person that left the key for him?
Obviously, he's not that smart because I don't think he used VPNs. As soon as the stuff leaked, they were easily able to track down who it was because he had like magazines in the back and he had like all kinds of clues in the back. So obviously, this kid wasn't that bright.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I don't know. Call me crazy, but are we being fed a scapegoat here?
Maybe. I mean, it's certainly. I would hope that like the military isn't that stupid. I would hope that like the people in charge aren't that stupid. If that is the case, then we are all doomed.
Yeah.
We're pretty much doomed if they're that incompetent and buffoonish. Let's get this caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, Scott?
It's all good, brother.
Hey, this is Bugs. I just wanted to let you all know this young man had a high top secret clearance. He worked there. He was an IT. He's very intelligent.
Yeah.
He was assigned to that, so he had access to that on a regular daily basis. That was part of his job.
No, he didn't. He was a guardsman. He's a National Guardsman.
No. He was in the National Guardsman. I'm telling you what his job, what he was doing.
I understand what he was doing, but he was doing it as a National Guardsman, not as active duty Air Force. So this wasn't everyday thing.
I'm telling you what his job was in the Pentagon.
In the Pentagon.
In the Pentagon.
In the Pentagon. He's in Massachusetts.
Yeah, he's in Massachusetts.
The man had a top secret clearance.
Yeah, so did I. I was a security specialist. I had a top secret clearance. When you work in the military, generally speaking, if you work around anything that has any kind of security level, you get a top secret clearance.
Mm-hmm.
No, some people get a secret clearance. Everybody don't get no top secret clearance. No, I disagree with that. I was in the military too, so I'm getting a top secret. The man worked as an IT specialist to make sure that all that intelligence material, that the things were working, so he had access to it. That's all I was trying to say. Now, you can Google that or whatever. That's what his job was. So it wasn't like he stumbled up on it or had to do any hacking. This is what his job was.
Yeah, he was an IT specialist. So,
yeah. He was an IT...
in intelligence.
He was an IT specialist. And what was his actual job? It wasn't combat intel. It wasn't anything relating to operational security. It was relating to logistics.
Right, he was a cyber transport system specialist.
That's what his job was.
Yeah, an IT specialist responsible for military communications networks, including their cabling and hubs. So in that role, he would have had
as a guardsman.
Right, he would have had a higher level of security clearance because he would also have been tasked with the responsibility for ensuring protection for the networks. That's what a defense official told the Associated Press, speaking on the condition of anonymity.
Right, I was just letting you know that he wasn't no bomb. Somebody that just happened to hack up on the
Oh no, we know he didn't hack it.
We know he didn't hack it. That's the whole point. He did not hack this.
He had access to it. That's what I was saying. You know, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I still wonder, like, how did somebody get that job in their late teens, early 20s? That seems pretty heavy for somebody in college age. Yeah.
Sometimes depending on your scores that you take when you're in it, because I was in the Air Force and in the Army. You know.
Yeah.
They put you where they needed at. You know, so he would have had to have some kind of smarts about him to even qualify to be IT, especially working around intelligence.
Right.
Everybody don't get a top secret clearance. When you get a top secret clearance, then you're privy to a lot of information. I had a secret clearance.
Right.
You know, but top secret, then you are around that kind of.
All right. What did you do in the military, Mr. Bugs? I know you were in the military. You were in the Army. I seen your uniform. What did you do?
I was in the Army and the Air Force. In the Air Force, I was. My job was to, when those, you remember U-2 spy planes?
Right.
my job was to keep them in the air. Whenever something broke down, the parts or something, I had
So
to get
you were a crew chief. Is that what you're saying?
No, what the crew chief? No,
Well,
no,
what was your job
My
title?
job, I was in like administrative supply. If they needed a part, I had to go all over to Europe to get it for the spy plane to get it back in the air.
So you were
administrative supply.
You were
But I also
you were in
had-
supply. Okay.
Right, but I did have a secret clearance because of the nature of my job and who I talked to and where I got the parts from and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So,
I guarded priority resources. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know how they were designed, how they were maintained, how they manufactured. I guarded them.
well, when
That gave
when
me a
they,
top secret
when we
clearance.
when we almost went to war, I was reading it. As a matter of fact,
But-
it's sort of funny.
But again,
I
you
was
were active
reading-
duty, right?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
active duty.
You were active duty. I was active duty. We worked
Mm-hmm.
24/7, 365 days a year. Well, I did. I was one of the few career fields in the Air Force that actually worked every day, while the rest of the guys work Monday to Friday and they get off on weekends and holidays. This
Wait a
guy
minute,
was
you
in the
ain't
National
working-
Guard.
You ain't working no 365 days a year. I don't believe that.
Brother, talk to a security specialist.
You saying?
Talk to a security specialist.
Never had a day off.
What I mean by that, brother, is there was no put it this way. When you got Christmas off, I cannot guarantee I got Christmas off. When you got weekends off, I cannot guarantee I got weekends off.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
wasn't
well, I
just
mean, that
because
means
we were at war. It was even during
That means that
peacetime.
you'd be available. Like all soldiers are available 24/7. You know.
Well,
But
Air
actually,
Force wasn't that way.
report
Air
in
Force was
working.
like being a civilian with a uniform, unless you were security or Red Horse or pararescue or a fighter pilot. I'll give them that. But the point is, this guy's National Guard. National Guard members are required to attend one drill weekend each month and one 2-week annual training period each year, usually during the summer. Weekend drills are usually scheduled over a Saturday or Sunday each month, but can occasionally include reporting for duty on Friday night.
IT has something to do with intelligence, right? He just told you that intelligence, right? The computers making sure everything's up. So he would read that information. He would have to see that information. If that's his job to keep the system going, then
and-
he would have to have access to that information.
And you said this information's been out for how long?
And like
Scott?
I think a few months.
It
a
was
few
out for a
months.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 19. So let's say he does, because he's Air Force, right? So he does the usual 8-week basic training, 2 months. Then he goes to his school. He's 19. So, assuming that he graduated like most kids do at around 18, he's been in the Guard about a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I figured it's not just
There's
about your
more to this
intelligence.
story. There's more to this story.
It seemed like it'd be.
Yeah. Well, just Google and see what his qualifications, see what he actually had access to. Then you see what I'm talking about.
It seemed like you wouldn't want somebody that young to have the
Right.
type of access
There's
that he
more to
had.
this
Even if
story.
he was like Doogie Howser, MD, and like a genius, I still
Well, the
wouldn't want
military,
a guy
the
that
military
young.
makes mistakes because I know a lot of people in there that shouldn't have been in there.
Oh
Shouldn't have
man,
been qualified.
that doesn't make me feel good at all. That doesn't make me
I
feel
didn't
good
call
at
no
all.
names. I didn't call no name. I'm not talking about you. I said,
That don't
must
make
have
me.
stepped on the toe or something.
That don't make me feel good at all. That we got people in the military protecting us that like ain't supposed to be there. That like are
Well,
incompetent. Or
When you had a president of the United States the same way. So.
well, yeah. Well, that's true.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you for your call.
All
We
right,
gotta go
y'all.
to a break.
Okay. Bye bye.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But as I said, like I was pretty shocked that somebody that young would have the type of clearance that he had. But apparently, that's where we are. And but like you said, there seemed like there may be some more to the.
There's got to be more.
So I guess is he going to go down as the patsy? Is he going to be the patsy? He's just going to be the guy who.
And okay, he's 21, so he's potentially he's been in the Air Force for 3 years. No, let me again. He's not in the Air Force. He's in the Massachusetts Air National Guard.
Right.
Now, we're not at war right now. So, National Guard hasn't been activated, you know. There's more to this story. And then on top of that, they found him this quickly. No, there's more to this story.
Yes. Folks, please give us a call, 219-885-1371. That number again, 219-885-1371. When we come back, it is time for Happy Happies.